Hey y'all, Chef IrixGuy here, and I'm going to do tri-tip on my Masterbuilt electric smoker. So subscribe to my channel, check out my Masterbuilt videos playlist, and you can see how I marinated, or I shouldn't say marinated, how I just prepared this to put in the smoker. I didn't marinate it. Some people may use injections. Some people may let it marinate in the refrigerator tightly covered overnight. I chose to do it this way. Check out my separate video where I show you that. But within this video, I'm going to show you what I do to get things going. So I've already preheated my Masterbuilt electric smoker. I'm going to do this around 225 degrees Fahrenheit. You know, you may want to use a different temperature, completely personal preference. And you may not like your brisket. You may not, I almost said brisket, because tri-tip and brisket are very similar. I went with tri-tip because it's not as massive as a brisket. You cook a brisket, you're going to need to have a ton of people. And for just 3 of us, you know, a tri-tip's more than enough for dinner and a lunch. So we're going to put it in the electric smoker here. I am using hickory, but you know, you may want to use a different wood. You know, maybe a pecan or a mesquite, or maybe oh, look at that, apple wood. Wow. So I've got my top rack right here set up, and I'm going to take a picture of that as always. Oh yeah. And we're going to promptly close it. But before we do, we're going to put the meat probe in, so I can monitor the internal temperature of the tri-tip. So, you know, get it in the big thick part of the middle. That's where you want your meat probe to get an accurate reading. And then that way you don't, you know, the last thing you want to do is overcook your tri-tip, because if you do that, you've wasted many hours, and you wasted money because you had to buy the meat. So we're going to go ahead and stick that in. It's 43 degrees Fahrenheit currently. That's funny. 43 degrees Fahrenheit because I just took it out of the refrigerator. That's why. So let's see. Let me go into my app, and I monitor the temperature. That alarm was going off because the temperature dropped. I've got a high and a low threshold for my ambient temperature. I monitor the ambient temperature and then also the meat temperature. So again, I'm wanting to keep it around 225 degrees Fahrenheit. If it fluctuates a little bit as I add additional hickory throughout the smoke, that's perfectly fine. But I'll keep an eye on it with my app. And again, you can find the smoker like I use, the ambient probe and meat probe like I use. Expand this video's description. I got it all linked there. But yeah, so basically now it's just a matter of, you know, letting it go low and slow, keeping an eye periodically every hour or so. Do I need to add more hickory chips? And as far as moisture control is concerned, the way that I'm smoking this tri-tip in the Masterbuilt electric smoker, moisture control is not an issue because I've got the water pan. So the water pan is providing moisture control. And when you check out how did I prepare my tri-tip for my electric smoker, you'll also notice that I added a little bit of moisture control in there in the form of 100% apple juice. So I've got a very thin layer of 100% apple juice below the tri-tip, and then also a thin layer of barbecue seasoning, and also freshly cut onion, freshly chopped garlic clove. So we're getting the moisture control from the water pan without having to add anything to the water pan. I know a lot of people, you know, may put 100% apple juice, garlic, onion, etc. in the water pan to add aromatics, but see, I'm getting the aromatics the way that I did this, using the smoker tray and then a piece of aluminum foil over that. I'm keeping all of the things in there, the onion, the fresh garlic, directly surrounding the tri-tip. So I'm doing that for the aromatics, but I'm doing the water pan purely for moisture control. There's a few reasons I do it like that. Number one, it makes cleanup easier. Now granted, before I take the tri-tip out of the electric smoker, I may put the tri-tip directly on the grill grates. The reason being, I want to have a bark on the outside of the tri-tip. You know, that's kind of the effect that a lot of people want. And you may not want that. You know, you may want the very mushy throughout, you know, on the outside, and then also the inside. But what I want is kind of a bark surrounding the tri-tip, and then, you know, obviously just that super tender, super moist, super flavorful meat that we've grown to expect from a tri-tip or a brisket on the inside. So it's going to be phenomenal. You know, you're going to get that hickory, highly pronounced hickory notes. Going to get the flavor from the fresh garlic, from the freshly chopped onion, and then obviously the barbecue salt that I use. You don't have to use barbecue salt like that. You could just use salt, pepper, and garlic. But I would encourage everyone to use sea salt, to use freshly ground pepper. And if you use garlic powder, that's okay. But I'm a fan of freshly chopped up garlic cloves. It's such a fresher experience, just like the freshly ground pepper and the sea salt versus your standard table salt. It all makes a difference. But most importantly, the thing that's most important, the thing that's paramount, is take your time. Do not rush the smoke. You know, this is a low and slow process to cook the perfect tri-tip. It's a low and slow process. Don't rush it. You know, keep an eye on your temperature. You know, use a wireless temperature monitor like I use for both the meat and the ambient temp. You know what's going on without having to open that door. And I don't encourage people to open the door. Sure, you know, you may need to go in there if your process entails adding a little bit of you know, maybe spritzing it with apple juice periodically. That's fine, but keep in mind every time you open that door, just like when I put the tri-tip in there, anytime you open it, even just for a few seconds, it's going to release some temperature, and it's going to have to heat back up to your desired smoking temp, which for me is around 225 degrees Fahrenheit. Not that it's an issue, but just something to be aware of. And that's actually the reason I got the electric smoker without the door. 2 reasons. Number one, I don't want to see in there, and the meat and the vegetables or whatever I'm smoking taunt me, because then you're going to want to go in and grab and try to see. I can't see what's going on in there. I'm just basing everything off of metrics, off of data rather. You know, so I've got my ambient temperature. Okay, is it maintaining the temp that I need? And then I've got the meat temperature. Is it ready to take off, or does it need to stay in longer? So I can keep a close virtual eye on everything that's going on, and then when I take it out of the electric smoker to enjoy it, it's going to be phenomenal. So yeah, that's how I do a tri-tip. Everybody's got their own technique, and I respect that. And this is how I do it. You know, take it for what it's worth. I do the tri-tip because I didn't want something as large as a brisket. Now stay tuned, and I may already have the videos at the time of watching this, but I will be doing burn-ins, and I do plan to do a brisket in the very near future as well. But I've already got ribs up, you know, how to smoke ribs in the Masterbuilt electric smoker. So I've got a lot of videos that are already out there. And you know, I find these techniques to be easy to follow and repeatable, and they always produce consistent results, at least in my opinion. So tell me what you think within the comment section below. Again, if you're shopping for the Masterbuilt electric smoker like I use, the temperature probe, the cover, anything else, expand this video's description and click the links there. You can find it all there. If there's a specific question that you have, comment below, and I'll try to post a video response. So I appreciate your viewership, and most importantly, subscribe and ring that bell icon when you do. And what that'll do is notify you whenever I post another video. I am an independent YouTube channel, so it's your subscriptions and your support that enables me to continue to grow. Thanks for your viewership, and y'all have a good day. Hey y'all, IrixGuy here. I hope you enjoyed this video, and please be sure to subscribe to my channel, and when you do, ring that bell icon to be notified whenever I post another video. Thanks for your viewership, and y'all have a good day.